Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic World video. And also, welcome to Jurassic June, a whole entire month dedicated to dinosaurs and the Jurassic franchise. A whole month of exciting new reveals and celebrations to come, as this Jurassic June is a very special one. This month, we'll be seeing Jurassic Park turning 30 years old. That's right, 30 years since the release of this cinematic masterpiece. And not only that, but it's also the start of this 30-year story from 1993 to 2022. Hopefully this month is better than what we're anticipating for now, but if we get any news or details about this franchise, you can be sure you can find major updates here on YouTube and minor updates over on my Twitter. May I also just say that this video might be going up on the 3rd of June, which marks 1 year since I first watched Jurassic World Dominion, and I just can't explain how happy I was to see that movie and how it was just so good. If you want to go back and reminisce on all the good times, the pre-Dominion era, the post-Dominion era, and my first initial reactions, I still have that on the channel, so feel free to check out those videos. But for now, let's focus on today's video, where we're going to go ahead and discuss the ecosystem of the most secretive island of the Jurassic World series. No, it's not Site B, no, it's not Site C, and no, it's none of the 5 deaths. Today, we're discussing Manta Island, an island that was only introduced into canon very recently in late 2021, but its first story takes place in 2016 within the timeline. So settle down, get some snacks, and enjoy today's video about the weird and wacky ecosystem of Manta Island. Over the course of the 6 movies and 1 TV series, the Jurassic franchise has introduced a numerous amount of islands to its roster. The main 2 being Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna. Isla Nublar was home to both Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, whereas Isla Sorna, also known as Site B, was the secondary home for these dinosaurs that were left to run around and live life as if it were the Mesozoic era once again. However, the dinosaurs would also occasionally be held within Isla Sorna before being transported to Isla Nublar for Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. The other islands in canon are slightly different, however. Whilst we aren't entirely sure on their exact purpose besides just being geographically close to Isla Sorna, the 5 deaths have always been a mystery to Jurassic. The 5 deaths contain Isla Sorna, Isla Muerta, Isla Matanceros, Isla Tacaño, and Isla Peña. However, thanks to some dialogue in the original Jurassic World Evolution game that released back in 2018, we were given a speech by Dr. Ian Malcolm that we can use to speculate upon. But don't take it too seriously, as we all know that this video game is not canon to the movies, but he goes ahead and says this.
Yes, Site C, more commonly known as Isla Muerta. A newly developed island. The name, roughly translated, and I do mean roughly, the island of the dead. Fitting. Humorous, even.
So thanks to that dialogue, we can only assume that Isla Muerta was always intended as Site C for the dinosaurs. It's happened in the video game universe, so I won't be surprised if it's a hidden story in the main movie universe. As for the other 3, we literally have 0 information about them whatsoever, so they're still shrouded in mystery. But there's one new island that was introduced quite recently to canon via the animated TV show Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. Towards the later seasons, and arguably the worst seasons, a new island awaited the campers that was soon to be called Mantah Corp Island, named after the company who purchased the island for its own research purposes. Within this island, we were told that plenty of dinosaurs were stolen from the islands of Isla Sorna and maybe even Isla Nublar. Within these 2 seasons, we were told that plenty of dinosaurs were stolen from Isla Sorna. As we know, that island hasn't quite been under surveillance in recent years before 2016, so it was practically easy enough for this company to leech off already living specimens from Site B. But the most interesting thing about this island is that the ecosystem of it isn't just about the dinosaurs. Sure, we'll get into those in just a minute, but we have to discuss the structure of this place. Manta Island was located in the northwest of Isla Nublar, putting it in nearly the middle of the Pacific Ocean. However, this island isn't what it seems like. Yes, we do have a geographical layout of this island, and we can see its natural appearance in the show as well, but surrounding the island is a massive biodome that can change multiple areas to different climates. Yes, I know, sounds a little far-fetched, especially for an island that's so far away from the mainland, However, this is canon and a major part of it, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So somehow, Mantah Corp were able to bring over all of the equipment and other materials to build such a thing. Don't know how, but they did it. As far as we are aware, there's a total of 5 biomes across the island: snowy, desert, tropical, jungle, and standard temperate. Now, the temperate biome is the main biome here, as we can see it's where Daniel Kahn and the rest of Mantah Corp's workers are located. This allows them to avoid horrible weather and practically live in not too hot and not too cold climate to continue production on whatever they may be creating. It's unknown if any dinosaurs are residing within this biome. However, we do spot some velociraptors roaming around, so it's highly likely that these dinosaurs could easily live there within this area. But the other biomes don't quite seem like they've got too much to them, suggesting that it's all still in early development. For example, we see that the Spinosaurus and Smilodon both live within the desert biome. Only a group of Dilophosauruses can be found in the jungle biome, and practically no dinosaurs live in the Arctic biome. However, the hybrid dinosaurs of the Spinoceratops could have possibly been the future intention, as they were endothermic, and they seem to enjoy the Arctic biome compared to the rest. And yes, technically a Kentrosaurus was found stranded out there as well, but this was for horrible experimentation on the animal instead. So there is reason to believe that all of these biomes were set up in the recent 2 years, but that's everything we know as of 2016. What is this place like after 2016? Well, if you haven't watched Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 5 just yet, please be warned for spoilers about the ending of this show. But as we know, Camp Cretaceous Season 5 ended up with the campers getting onto the mainland once again and living out their days happy until 2018, where we see a connection with Fallen Kingdoms ending. However, before all of this took place, we saw a great battle between multiple species of dinosaurs: Baryonyx, Tyrannosaurus, Dimorphodon, Spinosaurus, Carnotaurus, Kentrosaurus, Ankylosaurus, and many more. This all took place within the tropical biome of this island where the watering hole was made. As far as we can tell by the end of the season, these dinosaurs were not returned back to their original biome, as it would practically be impossible for that to happen without any mind control chips. And as we know, they practically all got destroyed. The only other way would be by sedating the animals one by one, but with this just being Ben and May on the island after the fall of Mantah Corp, then again it's extremely unlikely. However, this gives us a proper insight into the ecosystem of the island after the events of Season 5. So as we know, the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 returned for another showing within this franchise by first appearing in Season 4 and then later in Season 5 of Camp Cretaceous. After a 20-year absence, he's finally back. However, we luckily didn't get the end of his story in Season 5, as we saw him retreat back into the forest of the island, never to be seen again. Now, he was supposed to appear in Jurassic World Dominion, however that was unfortunately scrapped, so we really didn't know what he's been up to for 6 years now. Also nearby, there were 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes in Big and Little E.T. that are also roaming the island as well, meaning that we have 3 apex predators of 2 apex species roaming one tiny little island. This already doesn't seem like it's going down so well when it comes to territory and food. But continuing with the carnivores, the Baryonyx population was wiped out once Limbo was killed from Big E.T. during the fight, and the Carnotaurus, also known as Toro, was left alone during this time as well. So while they may not be an apex predator, you can still have a large carnivore roaming the island around the same biome once again in Toro the Carnotaurus. Other carnivores such as Dilophosaurus tend to have multiple different groups around the island, so these guys would most likely be scavengers and won't actively go out and hunt things unless they're in dire need for food. Keeping on topic with the smaller carnivores, there are 3 velociraptors that reside on this island. Now, some people may say that we only saw 2 of them. However, in one frame we can clearly see that there are in fact 3 velociraptors that live on this island. Where the third one came from is completely beyond me, but nevertheless, there are now enough of them to make pack hunting much easier. A bit of a weird one here, but we also know that at least one Ceratosaurus is alive on Mantah Corp Island. However, we don't really know its entire story. We saw it chase down Cash and Darius in Season 4, and then was seemingly locked away in the underground facility, but surely if it found its way in, it could find its way out, right? Well, his life is still unknown, but should it be positive, then he's alive out there, somewhere. As far as I can think of right now, I believe that's it for the carnivores, but the Smilodon is the only one missing as it simply died off to the jaws of the Spinosaurus. Oh, and besides that one stowaway compy that also got killed as well. Moving on to the herbivores, there actually aren't that many that appeared throughout this island whatsoever, putting the ecosystem in a very weird balance. Typically in this franchise, there's a 3-to-1 ratio on herbivores to carnivores, but Mantah Corp Island throws that out of the balance. For herbivores, we have the Kentrosaurus, a baby Brachiosaurus, and I believe that's about it. Yeah, quite shocking actually. Yes, other dinosaurs such as Stegosaurus did show up in Season 5, but that's back on Isla Nublar, and it wasn't until Bumpy the Ankylosaurus was delivered to Manta Island that the herbivore population increased on Manta Island. Now, I am sure that other species could be living on this island that are strictly herbivorous, but from what I can remember about the season, it's just these 3 dinosaurs. We now move on to the final group of herbivores here that maybe bumps up the herbivorous count just that little bit more. Well, they're not really dinosaurs, but we'll group them as dinosaurs for now. Firstly, we have the hybrid dinosaur of the Spinoceratops, a mixture of Spinosaurus and Sinoceratops that only eats fish and vegetation. These two would, if there's no growing defects, grow up to probably be the size of a Sinoceratops and also now be part of the ecosystem as well. It may even fall under the herbivorous category, but all we know is that their preferred climate was the Arctic biome. The 2 flying reptiles of the Pteranodon and Dimorphodon are also living on Manta Island, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dimorphodon was wiped out by now, as only one was brought on over to the island from Isla Nublar, and with the amount of Pteranodons that ruled the sky, I'm sure that they would have probably killed off the Dimorphodon at some point. But the key factor that is probably my favourite species was the Nothosaurus. Nothosaurus showed up in the underground bunker where the island's reactor core was residing. It caused havoc and then wasn't seen again until a brief moment in the jungle biome where it swept in and killed a Dilophosaurus by dragging it into the thick, swampy waters of the swamp biome. So we know that this creature is probably feasting off Dilophosauruses that are currently living within that biome, kind of like how a crocodile or an alligator would try and kill prey. Pretty neat, and a creature that I would love to see more eventually down the line. But yeah, that's the crazy and quite frankly weird ecosystem of Mantah Corp Island. I know it's a tough one to understand, but these dinosaurs were never supposed to be here in the first place, and since we know that it's still active and up and running as of 2018, we can only assume that this ecosystem has either shrunk ever so slightly or is being maintained by Ben and May, who have decided to stay on the island every now and then to look after the dinosaurs. But overall, there's multiple species here in multiple biomes, and as much as I didn't like Season 4 and 5, I do still want to see some sort of follow-up to this island to find out a little bit more about it and how it could fit in the overall story of this franchise with the future movies and shows yet to be announced. But for now, we can only speculate and wait until more is announced for what happens to this island and ecosystem after the events of Camp Cretaceous Season 5 in 2018. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please feel free to press that subscribe button and don't forget to also like the video as well. Let me know what your favourite species was on this list, but most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.